Greetings and welcome. Thank you so much for coming by and checking out the video, checking out the channel. To returning friends, welcome so much. I am so happy to see you again. To new friends that have just found the channel and found these videos, you are most welcomed in this space. This is a collective energy reading for you, and it is timeless. Whenever you get this message, it is the right time for you to get this information. You had something that was not clear to you. You were looking for some confirmation on something, perhaps. Could be any area of your life at all. But there was a reason why this video came to you. And I want to tell you, first of all, thank you so much. You could have gone anywhere else, but you went ahead and clicked on this video. So thank you. I really, really appreciate you guys. If you can take a moment, if you are so inclined, hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already done so. It does help the YouTube algorithm, help other people find these videos and find this channel. And as you know, if you found it, it is a space where there's a lot of information about a lot of things that are helpful in your career, in your finances, in your personal relationships, in your self-development, because it really begins with you. It begins with me. It begins with us individually, as people, as humans are spiritual beings in these little physical vessels, as we're trying to make our way and navigate through all of this, right? So today we are looking at card number 9. This is from the Woodland Wardens Oracle Deck by Jessica Roux. And number 9 corresponds to the Hermit card in the tarot, in the traditional tarot. And today we have the weasel and the pine, and they represent introspection, which obviously makes sense for the hermit. And what I like to do when I first get these readings is just kind of look at the card and get the energy from the card first before we go through and look at the extended reading in the book. And we know from the hermit, he's usually holding a little lantern that's got a light in it. It's a star, right? And he's been thinking about things. He's been evaluating things. He's been discerning things. It reminds me very much of the video that I had posted recently about the difference between discernment and judgment. And you may want to go ahead and check that out. It was the most recent episode from the Love Seat Therapist. But it is the idea we don't want to be judging ourselves any more than we want to be judging other people. But this card asks us to be discerning and introspective of ourselves, where we are and where we want to be, and making that evaluation, and if necessary, recalibration of where we are centered, where we are grounded. For this card in particular, pine trees. I've lived around pine trees my whole entire life. They are everywhere, really. And depending on the environment, they really can have much different attributes. They can be small little scrubby guys in high altitudes, or if there's not a lot of water, they can be towering, amazing trees when there's a lot of water and it's a very cool climate. So it really varies, and in its own way, weasels are kind of the same kind of thing. Depending on their environment, they can be very bright and cheery, or they can be very careful. And I love this little guy's look on his face. Doesn't it just look like he is just evaluating and discerning, really discerning, making those decisions based on his best information available to him for his highest good and the highest and greatest good of all. So let's take a look inside the book and see what the extended reading says for card number 9, Introspection. Weasels can be warriors or spies, moving quickly and often alone. They make observations from afar and adjust their plans accordingly. Remember that solitary creatures are nothing to fear, and an introverted nature is nothing to feel ashamed of. Knowing oneself and being comfortable alone are desirable skills. Like the weasel, the pine tree works to be self-sufficient. One of the fastest growing evergreens, its prickly needles have a waxy coating that helps them retain water. You are called to a time of solitude. Isolation allows for contemplation, which can lead to self-knowledge. So the question or questions for us to consider with this reading for today. When do I like to be alone? That's an excellent question. When do I like to be alone? And how can I better understand and respect myself? Those are excellent questions. How can I better understand and respect myself? And I think this really comes to personal integrity. Everything starts with us. We can't look at our outside environment and say, this has to change. This has to be different. This can't be like this. This has to be like that. A lot of things we can't control outside of our environment. Most times, the only things that we can control are the way we think, the way we feel, and the way we act. The words we speak, the thoughts we think. Those are things that we have control over, and those are the things that we have responsibility for. Once we take that responsibility on, just like the hermit, our light begins to shine. We become that beacon for others to be able to follow. Just like our card says, being alone is not necessarily a bad thing. We are all called at times to be alone, to have that time of introspection, to have that time of evaluating where we are, where we want to be, who we are, and who we want to be. When we are comfortable being alone, we are automatically comfortable with being with others. You know you've come to a group setting for something, a picnic, or I don't know, some event that you don't know a lot of the people there. You may not know anybody there. And walking into that kind of situation, you know the people that are kind of quiet off to the sides there, those are the people that are having really interesting conversations with other people. And don't you just feel kind of drawn to them? That calm, quiet, introspective air of knowing, right? That's what our card is bringing us today. That's what the energy reading is for today. Take some time to be alone. Cherish that time that you have with yourself, the relationship you have with yourself, the mirage, as Chris Witecki would say, from Serious Joy Horoscopes. Definitely should check that out if you haven't already. He would say your mirage is the most important relationship that you have. Once you are locked in, dialed in on who you want to be, and you know that the actions that you're taking are definitely in alignment with who you want to be, that it is for your highest good and the highest good of all, there's nothing can knock you off that path. But you have to have that alone time to be able to know. You have to have that alone time to be able to communicate with yourself, with your higher self, with the divine, with God. This is the only way you're going to get that information. So I hope that that reading was helpful. Please let me know in the comments what you guys think about this card, what you thought about the energy, what you thought about my interpretation of it. It really helps me get a better idea of how to do these readings for the collective. This is a communication. It's not just me talking and you listening. I'm getting the energy from you just as you're getting the energy from me. And this card really exemplifies that. So please do feel free to share in the comments if you would like to. And let me know what you think about this deck in general and this card in specific. So I hope you have the most amazing day. I love you. You are awesome. Rock on. Have a wonderful day. And ciao for now.